here today with Bob Scott, PGA, and he is the 2020 Pacific Northwest PGA Award winner for Deacon Palmer. And Bob, you and I have talked a lot about this in advance, and you've got a really inspirational story. So we have a lot to cover. And, in what you laid out for me in writing, you wrote something that just meant so much to me. So I'm going to just say it. In 2014, you felt like you became very depressed.
Yeah.
And you couldn't understand why, because you felt like that was probably the happiest point in your life because you met this amazing woman named Joanne.
Exactly. Well, and so many other things, but mainly Joe, I was super happy.
Yeah. And so you had that sort of polar opposite of feeling depressed, and you couldn't figure out why. And then you also had some people like Chris Curran and others that are your trusted friends and colleagues that were pointing out that you're not yourself. Something's different. And can you just sort of talk about sort of how that happened, and then maybe highlight, how the diagnosis went down?
Well, yeah. So I got depressed, and it literally was about the day we closed that year, closing 4 months every winter. And so I did talk to Chris, another friend of mine, Doug Matthews, who are both my besties. The thing is I was depressed, and both of them know Joe so well that I couldn't understand it. Literally stayed depressed for 2 months, and then finally got in and to the Spokane psychiatry and got some help that way. And literally he got me on meds and stuff. And probably about the time we opened, I was kind of feeling a little better, but then just continued at work and everything. And just, I guess, I don't remember, but through June, July, and up to the point in August when I was diagnosed, it kind of just started going downhill. Me forgetting stuff. People would come in and say, "Do you have a phone number?" I'd look at my phone, and I wouldn't even go to the right, app to give the contact list or anything like that. And,
wow.
And yeah, so I guess I was very forgetful. Chris and the guys are still telling me some stories that I did back then that I have to laugh about. But yeah, so literally the last thing I kind of remember is trying to get a gal's phone number. It was August 8th, and I looked at my phone and didn't do a thing. Chris said something was wrong, sent me home. That was on a Friday. I played in a pro-am on August 11th, Monday, and literally could not punch a ball, couldn't make any kind of contact, picked up the ball, let my team play 27 holes by themselves, and I just rode in the cart and literally got home. No one knew what to do. We waited about a week, and finally a psychiatrist told Joe to admit me to Sacred Heart and the emergency room. And when they asked, "Why are you admitting him?" Joe said her statement was, "You need to find out," because no one had a clue. No one had a clue.
And since we only have a brief amount of time, one of the things that you and I talked about was the battle that you had, where self-talk and sort of, trying to make yourself be positive, like that wasn't working, and you were struggling with a level of depression that you, now looking back, felt was dangerous almost for yourself.
Without a doubt.
So you want to talk about that because you want other golf professionals and people to be aware that this could be somebody they love might be dealing with the same thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, you never know. You hear about mental illness all the time, and unless you've experienced it, you can't really get it or understand it. And I truly, doing all the self-help talk you can possibly do. I tried. I was in the greatest place. I'm financially fine. I'm not getting it. And, you know, like I say, I always look at Robin Williams, and he's the funniest, happiest guy I ever knew. And how does he take his life?
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things that you just, um, I think everyone should be aware there is that mental illness that can creep up on you anytime.
Especially when it's a situation in your case where you had a level of a hopelessness that was creeping in quickly into any positive parts of your life, is maybe how you felt.
Oh, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, did I contemplate, you know, the worst part? Yeah. I mean, you're looking at you. It literally makes you feel so unhappy. And yeah,
So,
no, it's after I got on meds, it kind of cleared that up. But we're pretty sure that's when the tumor started.
okay. So, you said something else that I think is kind of mind blowing to anybody who's going to hear this, and it was to me when you said when you got the diagnosis, you felt how, and you literally did what?
Probably did somersaults if I could have, but no, probably the happiest guy to ever find out he did have a tumor, because now you know that what you have. You're not just going crazy. You know what you have, and you know there are cures for that. And luckily enough, in Spokane, I was blessed to have so many great doctors right around here that, and they gave me the positive interaction, the positive hope that they could clear it. And yeah, and
Right.
with it, yeah.
And at first it was diagnosed because um, hopefully we're going to have this sort of informational piece that you've written that Marlena will kindly share so that it kind of gives some of the backstory. But you thought it was an eye issue at first, and then you first diagnosed with a glioblastoma, but it later came back to be actually a B cell lymphoma brain tumor. That's
Correct.
Yeah. So and then as we wrap up again, the thing that I think is cool is that you're willing to talk about how you felt that you were in a place where you didn't want to be where you were, but now you look back at that with amount of gratitude, and having interacted with Joe, myself, I can see why you stuck around. I'm sure she's happy for that, obviously. But the last question I kind of want to ask you is, how did it feel when you had people like Chris and your other best friends, as well as numerous people in the Spokane Valley and the Spokane Inland Empire area, who came out to support you and to raise funds for your health care? How did that make you feel?
Oh, literally the only time I cried was the day I snuck into the pro shop about September of that year. August, I was diagnosed. Just snuck into the pro shop, and went back into my office, and Chris said, "Sit down." And I said, "What's up?" And he goes, "The three of us, Brent, Marty, and myself, are doing a tournament for you, and to raise funds." And I said, "I'm doing fine. Don't know." And he said, "Shut the what up." He said, "It's a done deal." And I said, "Well, I'll never forget." I said, "Did they already fill the course?" And he said, "No, we filled both of them, 37 fivesomes, 1C group. So that's like 370 players. And you have 50 teams on the wait list. And that's 50 fivesomes." So I'm just sitting there going, I mean, literally,
Wow.
it's the most, I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed. And the support and the love was amazing. Just amazing. And to this day, it's one of the few things that brings tears to my eyes every time I talk about it, because I've got a few pictures with just the whole groups, and it's amazing the support that Spokane gave me, and Liberty Lake, Coeur d'Alene, just a bunch. It came from all over.
I would say this: congratulations again on being recognized as a Deacon Palmer Award. I know that you didn't sign up for that, but I don't think we can find a better recipient who is more inspirational, in going through that experience. So thank you again, and enjoy it.
Well, Monty, thank you very much, and thanks, PGA of America.